living stereo stylus in this groove.
Let's embrace solar for every rooftop and go green with every kilowatt hour coming from the sun. Cities, villages, deserts and oceans witness the orchestra of sunlight and technology. We are experts in harnessing the power of sunlight. We aim to become part of nature, illuminate every corner of the world, and inspire many more possibilities, making the most of every ray. Fusion Solar.
Hello everyone, I hope you enjoyed the fair today, that you learned a lot about the solar sector and that you met some interesting people who you might end up working with in the future. The SolarWorks platform is the first online recruitment website for solar, connecting you with solar jobs and trainings. Thanks to a skills algorithm, we match your skills with the skills the company is actually looking for to find the perfect solar job for you. When you first visit the homepage, you immediately get the chance to identify yourself. Are you a job seeker looking for new opportunities, a company looking for talent, or an educational institution looking for a way to advertise your courses? Of course, feel free to learn more about solar and the jobs in the sector on the homepage. Alright, let's see which jobs match my skills. Okay, let's pick accountability, decision making, attention to detail, and independence. Of course, the more skills you add there, the better the matching will work. Then you select the job family that you want to find something in. Let's pick communications. Below, you can also specify where you would like to find the job, how much experience you have, and whether you would like to find a remote job, a hybrid, or on location. Then continue to find the perfect job for you. And great news, I matched with a job at Solar Power Europe. If after going through the job description you're still interested, continue to apply. To be able to apply for a job, you need to be logged in, which only makes sense because then the company can review your profile and your skills and see if you're a match. Of course, the better your profile looks, the higher the chances that the recruiter will reach out to you. You can add a photo, relevant experience or background for the job, but be sure to add all of your skills so the recruiter can review them. Now don't worry if you don't have a profile yet, simply go to register. When registering, be sure to create an account as a job seeker, unless you're a company offering jobs or a school offering trainings. And just like that, before you know it, you will be part of the solar workforce leading the energy transition.
Hello and welcome back to the Solar Works Fair. I hope this day has been super useful to you. Throughout the day, we've heard some really interesting stories and numbers. We've heard some really high numbers for how many people we need in the solar to strive and get to the numbers of deployment that we need to decarbonize Europe. We've heard some really interesting and inspiring stories of how people got into solar, moved into the job, and really evolved and found their path into solar. And we see that there's a breadth of so many different jobs available there. We're going to need so many different people from everywhere in the sector. So there's a lot of opportunities. We know that now. I think it's really interesting also to discuss now how to get there. It can be a bit tricky to know where exactly can we go, what job can we really apply for or be good at, and how to get there, how to best position yourself as a good candidate. So what to put in your CV really concretely, how to talk to people, how to best advertise yourself, what is the best career path or training you can take to get there. So today we're here with a few recruiters, human resource people from the solar sector to discuss all of this, how to be the best candidate possible and get those jobs in solar. Before we get into it, I would just like to say, please, we have a chat on the web streaming system. Please ask all your questions and we'll be here to answer them. So we have a presentation for you. We'll be discussing a few topics. But any question that you want to ask on how is the best way to get into solar, please feel free to ask them in the chat. So today I'm joined with my colleague Rosaline, who works in human resources at Solar Power Europe. Hello.
Hi, Arthur.
I'm also joined online with Marilyn from the NGO Generation. I'm joined with Guillaume Ricard from Elatos, a recruitment agency in France, and Elizabeth Kohlberg from Beva RE, also working in human resources. Beva is a large renewable energy company, mostly based in Germany. I'm just going to let you all present a bit yourself, the company, and what you do there. Maybe we'll start with Marilyn from Generation. Hi, Marilyn.
Hi, Atul. Lovely to see you. So, hi everyone. My name is Marilyn Schlamko, and I work for Generation. Generation is a global non-profit that supports individuals from really diverse backgrounds into employment. So, what we do is we offer training boot camps for individuals who are looking to reskill or enter a new career pathway, having already had a career in a different sector. So we are really keen on increasing diversity. And for us, it's about supporting individuals who might have barriers into employment. So they might not have the educational background or the experience to transition into employment without our support. So to date, we have supported just under 100,000 individuals into employment, with a success rate of 79% transitioning into employment within 3 months. We have got a great green sector portfolio, and what Generation does is it really looks for in-demand sectors. So we support individuals who to transition into technology, the green sector, healthcare, sales, customer care. And these are all sectors where employers have particular pain points for hiring. So either employers can't find the right talent or the volume of talent that they need because it's a new sector, like the green sector, and there aren't enough people upskilling for that. That's very true of the digital sector as well, technology sector, and we aren't upskilling enough people for the jobs of the future. Or with healthcare, for instance, employers really struggle with retention or finding people who are able to, commit and develop their careers at the rate that they'd like to in sector. So Generation works with employers to design programs that are specifically designed to upskill people to a profession. So in the green sector, we have solar panel installer, heat pump engineer, and retrofit advisor. And we're really keen to develop our programs even further in the future. So yeah, that gives you a bit of a snapshot of Generation. I'm delighted to speak to you all today, and I'll hand over to the next speaker.
Yeah, thank you very much, Marilyn. It's always impressive how you develop careers and the numbers you have also for people changing career and getting their job right after it. It's always really impressive that it works, actually. Guillaume, do you want to say a few words on yourself, Elatos, and what you do there?
Yes, thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm glad to be here. So I'm a recruitment officer for Elatos for more than 3 years now. I'm a headhunter. Elatos is a recruitment agency specialized in 2002 in the energy, environment, and digital sectors in France and abroad, so internationally as well. We help companies to recruit mostly managers and executive profiles, from project managers or project engineers, for example, to directors. We recruited more than 1,000 people in 20 years, and we find them through job ads or social media or headhunting, for example. That's for my part.
Okay, thank you very much. And Elizabeth.
Hi, everyone. My name is Elizabeth. I'm from Biva Renewables, as you mentioned in the beginning. I'm the head of global talent acquisition and also employer branding. So I'm very happy to give you also a short insight. Oh, sorry, I give you hopefully a short insight who BioRE is. Thank you very much. You said a couple of words already in the beginning. So we are a company who was founded 2009 in Germany. And when I started in BioRE, it was 2019. I always told new applicants, oh, we have now grown up to 1,400 employees. And now between 2019 and 2023, I can tell you we are now more than 4,700 employees. So we are now a hyper-growth company, and we are acting in more than 31 countries globally. And our turnover 2022 was a 6.5 billion euros, and we reached an EBIT of 232 million euros. BioRE is a leading global renewable energy developer, service provider, distributor, and energy solutions provider. And what makes us so unique as BioRE is we are having a wide-spanning business which offers solutions for many areas of the renewable energy transition. So this means we are not only a project developer or a wind expert, so we can combine the full way. So we have our expertise in wind and solar projects. We have now 5.5 gigawatts installed capacity in wind and solar globally. And we have 26 gigawatts now globally in our project pipeline in solar, onshore and offshore wind. And we can also maintain our the full assets. So we have now 10 gigawatts under operational management in this regards. And we have 6.5 gigawatts direct marketing portfolio in our PPA, and our plans in our IPP business are now to ramp up to 2.5 gigawatts. And our last pillar, as you see, we are having a really wide span in BioRE, is our solutions department, which is divided in solar distribution and energy distribution. So we can also offer tailor-made energy solutions for commercial and industrial clients. And we have also 30 years of solar distribution experience. Yeah, next to this, what we are doing in the projects business, and especially in solar, is we are not only doing the pure solar projects, so we're also in the field of floating PV, of agri PV, and also in hybrid farms for solar and wind. But what makes us so unique as a partner for applicants and also for our employees is we are calling ourselves as a home for change makers. So we are looking for employees that are driving the change or the energy transition with us because we call ourselves very ambitious and we succeed also as a team. But we are also not only saying these words, we really mean it. So we are here and coming to define our planet. And we are looking for people that they help us to find new ways, because our passion is really in heart is matched by our ambition in mind. Our people are always inspired in action and never shy away from new ideas. And we always try to break down our barriers because, as I mentioned, we are a global team spread across 28 plus countries, and we always try to grow and to bring the best out of our employees. So, but I think this is now way too much. Before we are starting in the panel, I just wanted to give you a short overview who we are and for whom we are looking for, and hopefully you will get some more insights also via our into who we are and during the panel.
Thank you very much. I'm sure it's a really good overview for the people watching this and looking for a job or studying to find a job in the sector. And also really impressive, the growth numbers really mirrors everything we say at Solar Power Europe and the sector as a whole. It's actually happening at the companies we talk to, so really great to see. Rosalind, you would like to also introduce yourself a little bit more?
Just shortly, I guess. I'm Rosaline Calers. I am the Human Resources Officer of SPE, Solar Power Europe. What we do actually, we are an international association that represents over 300 organizations, members. How do we support them? That means that we do market analysis. We also organize different kind of campaigns. We have a great motivated team of around 50 people, and it's a very diverse group of more than 20 nationalities, which we're really proud of. They're quite motivated, diligent, and that's what makes me motivated to work for SPE. On a daily basis, I'm focused on selection, recruitment, also implement HR policies. I work on learning and development programs, and I try to initiate health and well-being initiatives. That's in a nutshell for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we help our members, but we're also a big and growing team, so always looking to talk to new people every day. Now let's get right into it. In terms of the jobs available in solar, we talked about it a bit already this morning. But you guys have a nice overview also of what kind of jobs are available or in demand. Guillaume, starting with you in Elatos, you say you work more with management executive types of roles. What are you looking for specifically? What kind of profiles are we looking at these days? What's in demand? What do you see?
We have very various profiles for our clients. For example, we have land seekers, project managers, regional managers, project engineers. Sometimes we do have some solar directors, but logically it's fewer and less frequent because there's less turnover in that kind of job and position. Solar, what we can say is that solar is a sector especially dynamic, more than wind energy sector, for example. To compare both renewable energies, I mean for France, and I don't really know for other European countries, but for France, it's clear that solar sector is more dynamic than wind energy sector, for example. We can also have some construction managers or design engineers, legal counsels, international business development. We have very various kind of profiles. From 3 or 5 years experience to 20 years experience, for example.
Okay. I'll turn to Elizabeth now. Do you have open positions for solar? And I'll already take the opportunity to answer, or actually give you the opportunity to answer a question from the chat. There's a question on, do you have positions for experienced people and, for example, engineers? But also, do you take entry-level people, for example, again in engineering, and train them to become good employees? So yeah.
Yes, definitely. So you see maybe the QR code on the other side of my shoulder. So there you find all our open positions at the moment, but I can give you a short overview of our current open positions in Europe, only dedicated now for the solar business. We have at the moment 34 positions open in project development and management, 23 in engineering, 9 in commercial roles, so as consulting, business strategy, trading, and 6 positions open in sales and supply chain management. I calculated them on Monday. It could be that it already raised to more positions open. So as I said, we are a hyper growth company. But yeah, we have at the moment 8 students positions open in the solar business, 10 positions for young professionals, 51 positions for professionals, and 3 leadership roles. So you see, there's a big variety of open positions. And we have also, for us as a sustainable company, we're not only sustainable to be outside sustainable, we have also we gain sustainability within the company. So this means we create long-term career development paths so that we educate and train our employees over their full way and however they are starting within our company, and we try to tailor-make them their career to their ambitions, to their skills, and but also to the skills we need now to succeed as a company on the market. So yeah, we are very, very open to everybody. So for us, it's come as you are, and we will give you all the operation and toolkits you need to be successful within our company.
All right, and turning to Marilyn now, what you work with a lot of companies, you train people, recruit people for them. What are the kind of roles they're looking for? What kind of people are they looking for?
Yeah, great question. So in my role as Global Employer Partnerships Lead, I have a pleasure of supporting companies to hire from our bootcamp programs. And I think the green sector is a very exciting sector generally because it's quite new and emerging. And the solar sector within that has roles that, we didn't see perhaps 100 years ago. So what this means, though, is with companies, they often struggle to find talent because they are less prominent, or job seekers are less aware of the career pathways and the opportunities available to them. So I find that our green employers are really keen to champion diversity in order to connect with a higher volume of talent. And in particular for our program, solar panel installer program in Spain, we have seen this as a great career pathway for our mid-career professionals. So individuals who were working in the construction industry before, but potentially who were on non-permanent contracts or short-term contracts, and were maybe kept at quite a low skill level. And the solar industry and bootcamp programs like Generation is giving individuals the opportunity to reskill and achieve a much higher professional level and improve their income uplift as well. Income uplift is something really important to us. We track that data really closely as you increase the income of the individuals who go on the bootcamp, but it also impacts their wider community. So we see this as a really positive impact to education. So yeah, I think the employers are particularly open to finding individuals who have come from other sectors, who have a variety of skills and learned experience that they can apply in a new job field.
All right, yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, Rosalind, it's really amazing, right? So many opportunities everywhere.
Yeah, I wonder how we can connect those two parties, the job seekers and the green employers. Do you have any suggestions? Because it seems like there is some gap in between. How can they meet each other? I would say Marilyn, because you stated the distance between the two parties. Could you elaborate a bit further on that?
So how can employers connect with the talent pools coming from programs? Yeah. So we have lots of opportunities for employers to meet and connect with our learners on program. So it could be delivering masterclasses to our learner community. It could be delivering industry events. So an industry event is presenting your company, the career pathways, the opportunities available to learners on program, to educate them of the potential careers that they can transition into. And then we have lots of skills development opportunities. So sharing your skills so that you can improve the soft skills and technical skills of our learners such that they are as high performing as possible once they graduate. We deliver lots of different employability events across our countries. We have these job dating events where employers can come and run roundtable events and meet a network of employers, a network of learners, sorry, who are looking for work, and deliver first stage interviews with a high volume of individual. And it's a great way of understanding more about the programme, what the learners have learned on that course, and also really understanding their technical ability and their ability to perform well on role. So yeah, there's lots of opportunities from a volunteering capacity to upskill the individuals and directly hire from the programs as well by performing interviews.
Thanks. Marilyn, you mentioned something really important, I think, is people learning new soft skills for a new job. And it's a question for a bit the all of you as recruiters or people looking for new people always in solar jobs. If imagine I'm looking for a job, I'm a student or someone else looking to get into solar, and I don't have the #1 university on my CV, like the very normal path towards, for example, engineering, or marketing or management job in solar. Is there a way for you guys to really see the value of those people, even though they don't have this #1 uni on their CV, and see that they have some soft skills, see that they can do stuff, they are motivated, and they know where they're going, and they can help you? Do you have good ways of seeing that and valuing those people? Maybe Elizabeth first?
Yes, sure. Thank you very much for asking this very important question. So definitely there, as I mentioned, there are ways also to get in touch with us. We have some graduating programs. We have also we are also going to universities, and also not only the classical universities, also other universities. So and please feel always free to get in touch with us, as we're offering internship positions. We offer classical student positions within our company. And this gives you then also kind of an overview. Do you, as a student, would really like to work in this field or also in this company? Because it's not always the way that we are only searching employees, it's also the other way around to find also a good company where you would like to work. So definitely. So we as a company, we are not only hiring for skills, we are hiring for attitude, because as Marilyn also mentioned before, skills you can learn, but the attitude is really important for us.
Is that something you can also a bit echo? You agree with her?
Yeah, to a certain extent, I think for us, depending on the position, qualifications do matter, but it doesn't override the importance of the learning competencies, learning skills, also definitely attitude. I think that's a really important aspect that you touch on, Elizabeth, because if you show a willingness to learn, if you have an openness to grow and develop in your position, then that's a great asset to have, even more important than having 3 master degrees. So I would definitely motivate you to don't be afraid to apply for a job. If something is really touching, some triggers you, and you feel you have the skills, you have the attitude, just give it a try, and give also the recruiter the benefit of the doubt that they will be open to listen to you and see what you can offer and bring to the table, so we can actually benefit from your talents.
So don't be shy, guys. That's the message. Guillaume, you get people for management jobs. I'm curious to learn, like, are you a bit more controlling in that way, or a bit more classical, or are you also open to people bringing various backgrounds and new stuff a bit, just show that they can bring something to the table without the usual CV?
Yes, we try to encourage our clients to look out for other sectors. Sometimes we can find some transferable skills from one sector to another. And for example, when you look out land securing, maybe you can look in the maybe in the telecom industry. Maybe you can look out other sectors when you have to land secure some stuff. It's not. It's sometimes the same way when you look out for a land in the solar industry or in the wind industry or in the telecom industry. So it's barely the same. So we really encourage our clients to look out for other sectors to find some really good skills. And as you said, as Elizabeth said, and as you everyone said, sometimes the most important is really the soft skills.
Okay.
Maybe I would like to add here something. It depends, but also for sure on the role. So as a project manager or a project developer where you have really to need some certain kind of skills, definitely there it's affordable to bring these skills. But I think we're not now in the situation anymore that we also as a company can have the 100% match of a CV. So I would like to encourage you as applicants. Also, if you only have the feeling your CV matches only 60, 70, 80% to a job profile, please apply, because this is also something which is important for us. And as I said, when you bring the attitude and the willingness, maybe coming up to speed, we have now such a good environment where we can train you, where we can learn together with you, and bringing the skills to your CV in this regards.
I perfectly agree with you, Elizabeth. But sometimes it's really hard for top executive management or stuff like that. But for project developers, project managers, or maybe regional managers, I think it's a really good way to go into the solar sector.
And I think for those who are at entry level, a skills bootcamp is a wonderful way to transition into a new career pathway or sector, because skills boot camps are designed to a profession. Ours starts with 2 weeks of soft skills development and then continues with a further 11 weeks of technical training. So through that journey, it really empowers someone to learn the skills they need, which are aligned to that job role. And then they continue for a week and a half of internship with an organisation. And we've seen many of our employers continue for employment opportunities thereafter having an intern, because it's a great way to really see how someone performs on the job, and it also gives that intern a real opportunity to build their skills and confidence on the job. So I think skills boot camps, which is quite a new concept, really is a really great way of acquiring education outside the kind of formal university format that most will be aware of.
And yeah, thanks. Now going into a bit the real stuff. What kind of tips do you guys have for people getting into solar? Like how to best position yourself, write a CV, a cover letter, LinkedIn. What do you make of all that? Elizabeth, do you have any real tips, like do's and don'ts, to give everybody here?
Maybe I skip the don'ts and give you more the do's, because this will maybe have you and also us as a recruiters much better. So when you have a look on a job description, have always a look on the first 3 to 4 bullet points, but because this is something we internally always talk with about the hiring managers. What are the most important things for you? So craft your resume and target it to the first 3 to 4 bullet points and see if there's a match. And also one important topic is when you have a break, and because not now at the time it's normal that or it's not, don't say it normal, but it's not so unusual anymore that people are going to a sabbatical or having some time off. That's totally okay. Just write it in your CV, and hopefully you had a good time in this time. So for us, it's really important that you go through the job description, ask yourself the questions towards the bullet points we have made this, what you should bring with you and what we will offer. Make yourself aware with these topics and ask yourself, do I have an answer to this question? And what are maybe examples that I can give to this kind of bullet points, so that you feel also very comfortable when you are applying for this position. And maybe it's not always the push, it's also the pull. So we as a source, we go through LinkedIn. So the more you polish your LinkedIn profile, the easier it is for us to find you there. So bring in all the topics you were working on, highlight the projects you worked on, and this gives us a super good overview who you are, and it's just a snapshot of you, but this is what we as a recruiters all have in the beginning. So when we go through LinkedIn, and when we write you an email, it's super helpful if you respond. So then we can also get in touch with you. And sometimes we will just give you a call and to get more insights from you. And maybe it's not the perfect position and you have maybe in mind or you have applied for, but as you have seen, we have a big variety of opportunities. We as a company, we are also proactive, that we maybe give you a call in 1 or 2 weeks and say, the first profile matching was not really good, but now we have a position which maybe fits for you and for us. So a no for now is not a no for always. And I think this is also really, really important to say. But maybe Guillaume, I will hand over to you because I think you will face the same topics.
Well, nice to hear that it's also a human process behind all those application forms online. There's actually humans behind it, adapting to certain situations and talking to you, and it adapts also to the person. Do you echo all that, or do you agree, or anything to add here?
Yeah, I was thinking of the stage of interview, and we discussed the topic of attitude, and I think it also shows in the way you appear on a job interview. I think it's really important to pay a little bit of attention to the basics, like make sure that you dress well, appropriate to the certain company culture. Try to be kind and gracious about when you discuss previous employers, when you discuss colleagues, former situations, in a respectful way, because it shows a bit of attitude and how you look at things, how you approach difficulties. Not to forget also nonverbal language, as we speak also through our body, and you want to make sure you have an open posture, that you don't sit crossed armed, and that you listen carefully. Sometimes you wait to speak, just listen, be engaged in the conversation, and show some genuine interest. You might come across much more mature than someone who's sitting in a very close position, not paying attention. So be just aware of how you approach a job interview, apart from the content that you share during the interview. Yeah.
Thanks, Guillaume. Guillaume, I'd be interested to know if you have anything to add here, and we also have a few questions here on the chat. I'm just gonna send you one. Can you talk a bit about the process of how it usually happens when recruiting people? How long it takes after a first interview into a contract? A bit taking people through that the process. I'm sure it's different everywhere, but if you have some tips there.
Yes, if you want, when you go through a process with a recruitment company just like us, you have most of the time you have a phone call with one guy, probably me, and then a consultant, and then we're going to present yourself to the client, and then you're going to go through the process of the client. Most of the time 1 or 2 interviews. I don't know how it works with Beva, but probably 1 or 2, probably the HR and probably the manager. maybe the executive manager later on. So it can be really fast, maybe 3 weeks, and sometimes it's more longer. It can be 1 month, 2 months, because the decision is really long to make. Sometimes you have lots of concurrence, and so concurrency can take much time. So yeah, it can be. I would say probably if you go through a process with a recruitment agency, probably it's going to take between 1 month and 2 months, probably between from the beginning to the end, when you're going to receive the offer of the company.
All right. And Marilyn, coming back to you, you said you had very high numbers of people getting into a training that then get a job afterwards to the companies you work with. You have really high translation rates, if I can say that word. And do you give them any tips to get into those jobs, do well in the interviews, and get the jobs afterwards? And I would just like to also link that to a question we see in the chat around the integration of diverse people. So, for example, how do you handle language differences? I'm sure it can be an issue, or at least a topic that you handle. People from different countries that are either posted or immigrants from other regions. How do you deal with that? Is that absolutely necessary that they speak also the local language to adapt, or is that different roles that they have to keep compared to others? Can you answer those questions?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So on a bootcamp, an individual will have employability training from an employability coach, and they will have a series of mock interviews built into their skills bootcamp. So they can really practice the skills of selling themselves before we put them in front of an employer. And sometimes those mock interviews are delivered by employers themselves, volunteering to support generation and the mission of transitioning people into jobs. So they get plenty of employability coaching and practice on program, and post program they are supported through that career journey by placement coaches. So we will continue to support individuals as they transition into employment, and then check in with them and how they're developing for the first 6 months of their career. In region, individuals are given mentors as well, and mentors are really, really powerful way of supporting individuals to transition into employment. So for any employers out there thinking about recruiting people from a diverse profile, I would really urge the value and power of developing a mentor network for individuals coming from different backgrounds and starting in a new industry. So so that's my views on supporting people with the employability skills. And then Artur, remind me, what was the second part to your question?
About language and integration of diverse people.
Yes.
So if it plays a role in the kind of jobs they can get.
So yes, language skills is always going to be an important part of the recruitment process. What we do at Generation is we start with the jobs first and be working with employers in our network. So we will look at what are the requirements that employers really need to support individuals into work, and we'll work with those employers to lower those requirements if there's an opportunity to increase that diversity pool if possible. Now, if someone has transitioned into a new country and have very limited language skills, what we might do is signpost them to get some language skills before transitioning onto a generation program, as that language barrier has to be addressed before they transition into work. But when employers can design a role where language isn't so prominent or needed, we'll work with that employer to really design a recruitment process that allows as many people as possible to apply and to do well in that process. So it really depends on employers, the jobs that they offer, and we will work as much as possible to lower the requirements needed for people to transition into jobs.
Interesting. Rosaline, is that something we do as well?
I don't think we reached that stage yet, unfortunately, because with the most of our positions require a certain level of English. But there are some options, but considering fact we a quite small company, yeah, it's more difficult to get in without the language skills, I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I think it's also, sorry, I think it's also at entry level, you have more flexibility to be wider and broader with your skill requirement. But as you progress to a more senior stage, maybe Guillaume will speak to this, the skills required become a bit more acute and specific.
Yes, that's true. Sometimes it's very, as you said, very acute, and it can sometimes it's really tricky to make the difference between two candidates because the difference is really acute, as you said.
Okay, and more generally, you know, talking about in the sector, do you guys have any view on if we're good at integrating different people? Like, is it a sector where everybody's welcome? Are we doing enough to integrate different kinds of people from different regions that don't necessarily look the same? Also, and do you have anything to say to people to also come in the sector on that? And Elizabeth, more specifically, how do you make sure, and to Rosalind also, I would have that question, how do you avoid bias in recruitment? Is that something that you have a very specific attention to in the company?
Thank you very much for pointing this out. For us as a company, this is really crucial. So we have our own D&I department. So we're not only talking about biases and diversity and equity. So we are really doing things on this. So we're having biases trainings already in our hiring code. So we are developing this hiring code constantly and having trainings towards this to avoid any biases through the whole application process. But also we include this training on a constant way, not as a, how do I say it, as a on top topic towards the company. It's more that it's along our business to bring all these D&I topics to life. So all our directors and also leadership colleagues are constantly trained and have all these D&I topics in their targets. And for us, it's not a top-down topic, it's also kind of bottom-up. So we are filling this D&I topic with life from all our angles. And we have also a D&I policy in our company. So this is really a constant topic we are driving in our company. We have also a pride network. So where people can have exchange. And this is also something I would really emphasize on this stage is if diversity is important for you as an applicant, you are always allowed to address this directly in the beginning of an interview, because if diversity is not welcomed in a company, I guess you as an applicant would also not like to work in this kind of environment. So for us, it's important that we are bringing all this D&I topics to life. So if you have any questions, you're always welcomed also during the application process to address any questions you have. We have a pride community, and what we are also doing is, as I mentioned, we're not putting D&I as an on top thing to the business. It's more as an along the process business. So I'll give you an example. When we established a wind project in Australia, it was not only that we're establishing a wind project there, we have also sponsored the Pride event in Australia, because for us it's also giving back things. So, and this is what I meant. We are a company that is not only talking about fancy things, which is very on vogue on the market. We are really doing things there to avoid unconscious biases.
Yeah, thanks. And Rosaline, like if I'm looking for a job in solar, how do I know that I'll be judged not on the way I look and where I come from, but what I can do and bring really to the company? What can I look for? Because there's hundreds of companies and we see there's millions of opportunities, literally. How do I find the right place?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, I think if this topic is really close to you, I would suggest to look to the websites and find if there is a separate DEI page which explains their strategy and how they look at this topic. And if you resonate with their beliefs, then this might be an invitation for you to apply for a job within that company. It is still a topic that we need. There's lots of work to do on that topic. Also, if I speak for our own company, we do make a great effort, and we're learning every single day. But it's still a growing process. But when we have these different ways. If we speak in-house DEI, I would say we have these little events in which we share local, for example, homemade dishes. We have a specific DEI working group in which we share a lot of ideas. We initiate new projects. And we also try to showcase that we are really given lots of importance to having a diverse team. But it's a gradual process, I would say. But definitely look into the websites of the companies that you're interested in to get a bit more informed about this.
Marilyn, do you have any thoughts about this?
Yeah. So I would say if I'm speaking to an organization, I'd probably call out 3 really practical things they can do to increase diversity, and in particular at the entry level. So first one is to look at their job specs and really reflect, are they making these entry level jobs truly entry level? I.e., are we asking for a particular experience set or a number of years of experience or a level of knowledge which isn't aligned to entry level roles? And can we adapt? Can we actually, bring back the entry level role and make it a bit more accessible for a wider group of individuals? Secondly, I would ask employers to look at their recruitment process. Can they make it focused on assessing skills more than assessing experience and educational background? Are there practical elements they can do to really see how that person's going to perform in role? So setting a task or doing a technical test as part of the interview process allows you to really test that person's skill ability versus their previous background. And finally, if there is a company who's really looking to champion diversity and to bring a wider range of people into the business, have a look at recruitment panels. Does that panel of individual represent the diversity of the company? So if you are looking for more women to enter that job profile, is there a woman on the recruitment panel? Because by creating a panel that reflects the diversity that you want to welcome, it gives for a better environment for that person applying for the job.
Right. Yeah, that's really good examples and really specific things to look for. Guillaume, do you see any of this? Is that becoming mainstream also in your world?
I Mainstream, probably yes. I perfectly agree with Marilyn. So because what you said, Marilyn, the purpose of a recruitment consultancy is to find the best candidates. That's for sure. Regarding the skills and experiences. So of course, as Elatos, we do all we can, all our best to, for example, to promote gender equality. We know that in women solar industry, sorry, we know that women in solar industry, sorry, are not well represented. That's a fact. On the engineering side or executive positions. So we try to go on this example. We try to accompany our clients to look out maybe in other sectors. If you have some skills that can be transferable in this sector, and if it's from if this candidate is the best one, even if he's not coming from the solar sector, I think that we have to go on. So we want diversity all throughout our processes. We try to give the same chance to everyone, but at the end, we hope that the best candidates will be recruited, whatever is gender, whatever is ethnicity, whatever is origin, or maybe is religion, or I don't know anything else we want. So even if you don't come from the sector, if you don't have the perfect match, if you don't have the perfect uni, you don't have the perfect education background or what else, if we think you are the best candidate, so we're going to try to promote your profile, to promote your applicancy, to go through to all through the process.
All right, lots of interesting insights here. We went through a lot of topics. We're approaching the end of this panel. Feel free to ask your very last question on the chat. I'll just go over around also a very last round to finish this off. If you have anything to say to people looking for a solo job, interested after today in connecting and learning more, and maybe eventually applying for a solo job, any last tip, something you would tell them from own experience, from things you have seen, to people that are either outside the sector already working or students? Anything you would like to finish with here? Maybe Marilyn first.
Sure. So I think the transition to getting a new role is always underpinned by self-confidence. So I would urge anyone who's looking for a solo career to do whatever you can to build your self-confidence whilst you're looking for a new job role, because it's that self-confidence which will help you create amazing and engaging job applications. It's that self-confidence that will help you articulate your skills, your experience, your passion for the industry at interview. And it's that self-confidence that will help you do well in those first few weeks of a new role, where you're building new relationships, connections with peers, and getting to know people. So yeah, I can't stress the importance of it enough. In line with this soft skills development that we said, really paying close attention to your self-confidence and boosting that as much as you can during a recruitment process this is essential for me.
Thank you. Elizabeth?
I can totally underline what Marilyn said. This self-confidence is really important, but also create a network. So go to different fairs, go into networks on LinkedIn, make yourself familiar with the people from the industry, learn from the people in the industry. So the more network you have, the more visibility you get. So for us as a recruiter, we always try to have relationships with our applicants, with our candidates or potential candidates, and we always rely more to referrals. So whenever you have a good network and there is a referral from this network, it helps us a lot. And I guess this is very important. And it gives you maybe also some insights, because generative AI is now more and more working. The more networks you create, or more networks you are on LinkedIn, and the more active you are, the more we as a recruiter, we can see you also on LinkedIn when we search from the other side. So maybe this is also some kind of insight I can give you from a recruiter's perspective. And as I mentioned before, whenever you have the feeling only 80% of your profile is matching with a job description, please apply. So 80% is sometimes really, really enough that we having then a first touching point. And maybe also one step also, when you prepare yourself for an interview, use LinkedIn, have a review on the people you're having this interview, make some research. So, and this gives you then also kind of a connection and of a feeling with whom you are talking to, because it's a human-based process. So we are all humans we are talking about, and it's always good to have good relationships and a good feeling when you're coming to an interview.
Yeah, thanks. And I think please apply is a very good takeaway from this session. And apart from that, yeah, like starting your career, you always think people are distant or hard to approach, or just get a LinkedIn, get an email, get whatever, send them an email or send them a message or go talk to them physically in a fair or come to the jobs fair and talk to them. Anyway, people I think are more approachable than we think. Just go. People are happy to talk about their lives and their jobs, you know. So just also go talk to them and ask what they're doing, why it's important, why it's interesting. Do they have positions? Like people are usually happy to talk about those things. So please, it's always really nice to talk about it. Guillaume.
Yes, as Marilyn and Elizabeth said, self-confidence is really important. And Elizabeth just said it as well, but here is another advice. I think you might think it's a basic, but you always have to prepare yourself for the interview. You might be very impressed of how many people did not prepare themselves. So look out for information about the companies, prepare questions about the company or about the position you're seeking. Prepare the presentation you want to make of your skills, of your knowledges, how you want to go through your resumes, how you want to go through your professional experiences. For example, if you want to do the interviews, if you have to do the interview on video conference, put yourself in a comfortable area without noise, without pets, calm, no disturbance. Just have to be focused. I think it's really gonna help you at the end.
All right, I think that was really useful, no? Yeah.
Maybe in addition to the one advice, know your resume in and out. I think this is a very crucial thing.
That's perfectly true.
Yeah. If you did a weird thing in your studies, like an association or something, and you write it in your CV, be prepared to defend it.
Yes.
Yeah, Rosaline, I think that was really useful. No, I learned things today.
Yeah.
What do we take away from this?
Well, I think it's nice to have these three different views on the same topic, and I'm sure that the job seekers this was really helpful to them to see different perspectives, and I learned also. So I think that's a great asset. But thank you for sharing your knowledge. It has been great to have you here.
Yeah, thank you so much, everybody.
For the
It was
interview.
really great. And to everyone watching still, stay with us. There's a networking session coming. You will be able to talk to everybody. As we said, it's important and people are open. So go talk to everybody, go to their tables, ask questions, talk to the people that you look up to and talk about your situations. And then we'll have the diversity award session where we'll hear about different efforts that companies or organizations are putting up to attract lots of diverse people into their organizations and feeling them welcome. We'll talk about this right after the break. Thank you again so much to everyone here. It was amazing. See you again soon. And bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Change yourself. My baby, you're so good for my health. 'Cause I call you my